welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about the dynamic world of PowerApps, where we unlock the potential of automated solutions. If you're passionate about streamlining processes and eager to learn how to effortlessly retrieve employee IDs, you've come to the right place. Join me on this exciting journey as we delve into the nuts and bolts of PowerApps, share tips and tricks, and transform the mundane into the extraordinary. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, there's something here for everyone. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's power up your app building skills together. Right, let's get it started. Prior to get an automated employee ID in your Power Apps, you first need to check whether a profile has employee ID value attached to it. You can check it in your Microsoft Azure AD Center or Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and the value should look like this attached to the employee ID. Now, if we go back to Power Apps, now, first, we'll need to create a Power Automate flow to get the email from this data card value, which triggers an automated entry into this field and input an employee ID inside. So let's create a new flow. Now I'm going to create it from blank. Okay, so you can see here, I will name this flow as get employee ID for easier reference. The next step is we need to compose, basically to get the email. I'll be using email as a trigger for further processes. So I'll be composing the email that will be entered in Power Apps. First, I'll need to input it as a text. I'll name this as email ID. Okay, then the inputs, I can get it from here. Now I need, once I've, the email, I'll need to use that to search for the employee ID. Do so, I'll need to get user profile. Yeah, user profile, I'll use the version 2 since it's the latest. Here, I will get the outputs from the compose. Basically here, it should come out as an email. And the field I want to get from that get user profile is the employee ID. So I will type employee ID here, and I'll show you why you should type it like this later down the video. And then for the next step, we'll need to add a compose action again. Compose. Here, the output from this should be the employee ID. So as you can see here, if I scroll it down, we can't find the employee ID inside here. So we have to manually enter it. So I'm going to click any of this first, and then I'll show you where should we change the employee ID. So as you can see, here's the expression outputs get user profile v2 body, then about me. So after the body slash, that's where we input our employee ID. One way you can do so, without having to, manually type in one by one, is that you can open developer tools and get a profile. So I'll click on this. It should bring us here. Here's the formula. So I'll copy this to here. And then I'll close this. In the expression, enter my expression formula. And the about me, I'll change it to employee ID. Okay. Right. After that, here, we'll be responding back to PowerApps. Respond to PowerApp flow. That's correct. And I want to respond it in a text format. EMP ID, I'll name this at. Then I want to get the employee ID from this action from compose to. And that's it for the Power Automate side. So we'll save this for now. Okay. Then here is where we'll be searching, for the user. So as you can see here, you can drop down and find a user. So what we're trying to do right now is that based on the selection, so we use on change. Based on the selection, when you select something, it'll trigger it to run the Power Automate flow and come up with a result as an employee ID over to this section. So to do so, I'll go to on change, set ID. This is the variable that I'll be entering, and then the flow, which is this get employee ID dot run. Okay, then I'll need the value in the combo box. So I'll put in combo box 1 dot selected dot mail. So we'll get the email to trigger further flows. So we'll close this and we'll get the value out from here. Okay. Then here, the default will get the variable from that trigger. So it will be ID. Okay. Now let's see if this works. And there you go. An automated employee ID without having you to type in. Of course, you can do the same for departments, for other things like the display name as well. But for now, I hope this is something that can trigger you to find, to input an employee ID automatically. So if we go back to the Power Automate, I open in, refresh this real quick. Remember the part where I told you about why you have to type in employee ID without spacing? I'll show you in a minute why. Okay, so we look at the raw inputs here. So this is where it's getting, the response from the Power App. We compose it. you get our employee email or our email address here in the compose section. So this is where we type in the employee ID, select the employee ID only. Okay, we look at the outputs. The graph, the Microsoft Graph employee ID is named as employee ID. That's why we need to type in as employee ID to get the value for the employee ID. So yeah, that's basically about it. If you like my video, do remember to like, subscribe, and comment on what you would like to see in the next video. Until then, see you guys. Have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.